Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, kids, should I pull my balls out? That's not what I told you to say, Terry. Now let's try this again. And remember, kids, it's one education at a time.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How's everyone doing on this Friday? I know Fridays are actually, I think, they're bad days to do live streams. I feel like not that many people come in because it's the end of the week and everyone's, going out to dinner, or they got plans for the weekend, stuff like that. But I had something happen today that was pretty crazy. So I just wanted to tell my story about the police stealing my car. Happened a while ago. And then I just got a phone call yesterday that was wild about where my car ended up, dude. So I just wanted to share my story, first of all, because it's a crazy story. And then also to get your thoughts on, if you think this is theft or not, and your thoughts on the requirements for someone to be able to operate their own vehicle on public roads. So, good to see you guys. Got 15 people in here. Appreciate you guys. Hey, Claudette. How you doing, sweetie? Good to see you. So let's just jump right into the story. So it's been a while. It's probably been maybe 6 months ago. I had my Cadillac. Maybe some of you guys have seen it. I think it's been in maybe a couple videos. But it was a car that my grandfather gave me. I inherited it, really. He didn't give it to me. He passed away, and then my Auntie Pam had it, and she ended up giving it to me when my grandma passed away. And so Sweet Tea and I drove it back. We were in New Mexico. And so she drove my truck, and I drove the car back. And during one of the snowstorms, the battery died, and I would jump it and it would be okay. But then it would just, as soon as I turned the car off, it would die. So I think it just needed a new battery, and the plates were expired. And so it wasn't driving. The battery's dead. I needed a new battery, and I wasn't going to re-register it because I knew I was moving soon. Right. And I was like, I'm just going to, I'm going to register it here, and then I'm moving. So I'll just wait until I move, then I'll register it. Right. And then I'll get a new battery. It'll be fine. But I got like a warning that, move it within 24 hours and plates expired or whatever. I think it was a ticket too. I don't remember if it was a ticket. So I moved it like across the street, and it was fine there for a couple weeks. I check on it, and then all of a sudden, boom, it was gone. Denver Police Department towed it. So I made some phone calls. I was going to report it stolen. And then, so I called the police department, and then sure enough, we towed it because it didn't have plates or current plates. So I was like, how do I get it back? And they're like, you need to call this number. So of course, everything that's government controlled or government operated, it just runs like trash. Right. So I called, and of course you can't get a hold of anyone, right? Leave a message. Of course, nobody calls you back. So I tried to email them. So we're talking email now. And at this point in time, I was going through so much stuff. I mean, I was just so overwhelmed, had a lot going on with like legal stuff. I had personal family problems. I had money problems, all this stuff. Right. And it was like kind of the last thing I just wanted to deal with. So the vehicle, I don't even know how much it's worth. It might be worth a couple thousand. It's a 2008, and it had like 185,000 miles, I think. So I was like, almost kind of like, oh man, maybe just get rid of it. Cause I think, I need a new battery. And I think it was overheating again. And I was like, it's just going to be a money pit. That year, 2008, and Cadillacs, they're kind of money pits, after 100,000 miles. But anyways, I finally was like, hey, I need to figure this out before it's too late. And I emailed the dude, and I was like, so what do I need to get it back? Like how much? Because I think it was like $400, and then that's what I need, $400, and then proof of insurance on the vehicle, or to tow it out of there. I was like, okay, $400 plus a tow truck, it's like $800, right? Just kidnap my car because it didn't have plates, current registration on it. So, and I was going to register it, but so anyways, and it was like, I think it was like 8 months overdue or something like that. It was a lot, but I personally don't think that you should have to pay for permission to use your own property on roads that you already pay for by force, but that's just me. But finally, I was like, okay, so it's going to be $800. So I was like, I wasn't going to tow it. I was just going to get insurance on it, and I was going to go over there and jump it and just drive it. So I was finally getting ready to do it, and I emailed the guy, okay, what's my deadline to get that car out of there? And he's like, oh, you already passed the deadline. And I was like, oh, so you guys are just keeping the car indefinitely? And he's like, yep. It's like, oh, cool. So Denver Police Department, they just, stole my car, basically, right? And that's what happens, guys. They just steal your stuff, dude. So I just thought, okay, cool, it's over, man. They stole my grandfather's car that passed away. I don't have anymore. It's Cadillac. He loved his Cadillacs. And it was an older car, like I said, 08, high mileage, but I mean, it had a lot of cool stuff. I mean, Cadillacs are luxurious. Sweetie drove in it. She drove it. It's got like literally like massage chairs on both the chairs. Like, those they got like little vibrating and rollers on it. It's cool. So it was like my audit car. And it's easier to get in and out. It's super smooth. It's so funny. We actually manifested that because I was editing a video on the way up there. But in my truck, it's kind of bumpy. It's got a lift on it and 35-inch tires. So anytime we'd hit a bump, it would like mess up my thing, and it would like reboot my computer. And I was like, I was getting all pissed because she was driving. I was like, man, the only way I can edit a video in here is if I was driving a Cadillac. So I like manifested that, because then we drove back in a Cadillac. But I got a call yesterday from some guy from the dealership, and he's like, hey, is this Christopher Cordova? And I was like, yeah. He's like, hey, this is Joshua over at blah, blah, blah dealership. And I thought it was some solicit call. And it's like, the reason I'm calling is, do you have a Cadillac DTS? And I was like, I used to. Why? What's going on? He's like, well, it's here. Somebody dropped it off here. Tow truck company just dropped it off, and we don't even know why it's here or who the owner is. The only reason I found your number is because in the glove box, there's a receipt from Jiffy Lube. It has your phone number on it. And I explained to him the situation. I was like, well, yeah, it was my car. Denver Police Department towed it for expired tags, and I couldn't pick it up in time. And so they just said that I couldn't get it back. They were stealing my car. He's like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I got it here. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, can I get it? And he's like, sure. I was like, cool. I was like, can you wait till tomorrow? I was like, because it was kind of like yesterday evening. He's like, yeah, sure. Come pick it up tomorrow. So I called my mom. She was going to come, down there. She's like, what do we need to do? I was like, we'll go in my truck. That way I can jump it. And then I'll drive my car and you just follow me in my truck. She's like, okay. And then she called me last night, kind of late. She said she didn't sleep very well last night because, my mom worries about me a lot. And she was wondering about this, that. She knows how government retaliates against me. And she called me and she's like, you know what? This doesn't sound right. Like, I'm going to go over there myself and talk to him because I don't trust the police. And what if this is like a setup? You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, does seem kind of strange though. And she's like, I just don't trust them. What if we get in there? It's a sting operation. They're trying to get you with possession of stolen property, or what if there's drugs planted in there, right? And they're waiting and they pull us over. Like, my mom's thinking like this. So we start, doing our investigation and stuff. She called over there and talked to him and, the manager and at the dealership. And I guess somehow the car just got dropped off there. So what I think might have happened is whoever bought the car at the auction, I think that since it's not running, the auction people had it towed to that dealership to work on it. But whoever towed it there didn't give the employees any information about who the owner is or anything like that. So I don't even think whoever the new owner is doesn't have, I don't even know if he knows where the vehicle is. So it's like a total screw up. But the manager of the dealership, he just wants it out of there. He's told my mom he was going to just tow it out of there if we didn't come get it. He doesn't want it there. He said it's an abandoned vehicle. So my mom actually did a lot of work for me today. She talked to the DMV and she's like, well, if you just come in with the title and we'll register it. And as soon as you register it, you're good. So we went in there. But what happened was the DMV, it's re-registered. So it was sold at auction and it's not registered in my name anymore. She's like, that title that you have means nothing. You're no longer the owner of this vehicle. But they can't tell you who the owner is. So I don't know if it's an actual person or if it's like a company and they're just going to like, put a battery in it and flip it, or what the deal is. So we're like, okay, cool. A good thing that we did our due diligence, because what would have happened if I didn't have my mom looking out for me? So that's why I need someone to like kind of look out for me, because, sometimes I do things on impulse. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get my car back. And they'd be like, in Denver Police Department's face, right? You know what I mean? Got my car back. I didn't have to pay any money. But what would have happened was eventually the guy probably would be looking for his car. And then I'm like, oh, we gave it to this guy, our bad, and they would have found out who it was me, and Denver Police Department said, oh, we got him now, right? They would put a warrant out for my arrest, probably like felony, you know what I mean? Probably got in big time trouble. So I don't know, maybe they did that on purpose. Denver Police Department, they're corrupt. Maybe this is a whole scam for them to try to bust me, you know what I mean? So that's the story. And it just made me think about it, because I wanted to do like something about this whole thing about having to pay for permission to use your own property on roads that you already are forced to pay for, right? And it just sucks, dude, that they can get away with that, just stealing your stuff, you know what I mean? Because it didn't have registered plates, and I wasn't driving it. It was just sitting on a road, like now I'm moved. I would have already had it registered and everything by now. So, but instead they just steal your stuff, and, they can do that. And if you get caught with a certain amount of cash, then they can just seize your money and they just take it indefinitely. You know what I mean? Like, what if you pulled out, 15,000 because you're going to go buy a car, you're going to go buy something, and you get pulled over, the cops can just take that, dude. And they don't have to give it back to you. But there's a name for it. What's called something, forfeiture or some seizure or something like that. So what do you guys think? I mean, what do you think about having to register your vehicle? You've heard me we're all talk about taxes, right? And everyone's upset about how taxes are so high now. And they're higher. And, they don't really go lower. But it's not just taxes. I've said before, that most Americans pay about half their income to the government every year, at least 40%. And because it's not just taxes, though, right? It's registration of your vehicle, driver's license, any other license or permits that you've acquired. That's money to the government, speeding ticket, right? The list goes on and on. There's all kinds of stuff that you pay to the government. So you add all that stuff up, it ends up being about half. I mean, that's crazy, dude. But land of the free, right? And then, you already paid taxes on the car, right? When I had to buy the car, well, it was given to me, but let's say I bought it, pay taxes on it, and then don't stay up to date on that registration. The police department just steals your stuff. That's it, right? What do you guys think about that? Isn't that messed up, or is that cool? Is that the price we pay to live in a civilized society? I mean, what's up with that? I mean, do you guys like paying half your money? Do you like working 6 months out of the year just to hand that over to the government? Land of the free? Home of the brave? Or is it land of the fee, home of the slave? Right? I mean, and, I'm really not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. A lot of you guys know I'm a libertarian, just like ANCAP Gamer in here. What's up, my brother? Subscribe to ANCAP Cop Watch. He's always on his other channel, the Gamer channel, but that's ANCAP Cop Watch, my friend. But I'm a libertarian like him. And like, there's things that Trump has done that actually, I like some of the things that Trump's done, but I'm far from a Trump supporter. And you can't really be an auditor for sure, but you can't be a supporter of the 1A movement and be a Trump supporter. And if you want to unsubscribe from me, that's fine. But that's my opinion. Like I said, there are some things that Trump's done that I think is cool. It's good, but he's the biggest bootlicker there is, dude. It like doesn't go together. You know what I mean? It's like trying to be like a Christian, but you're in the KKK, like they don't mix. So, but he's doing the thing with the tariffs, right? Like he's lowering taxes, right? But then he's doing tariffs now, right? And we're going to just live on tariff. Like he wants it to, like, I heard something about him wanting to abolish the federal income tax, which would be great, but he's got to pay for something somehow. So then it would do tariffs now, right? But People don't understand, like, if you're doing these tariffs, think, oh, he's lowering taxes, right? Great, lower taxes. But now he's got these tariffs. It's just a different way of taxing you, because like the companies, like let's say Apple, they want to import products from China for their phones, right? The Apple has to pay the tariff, I think. I don't think China pays it. Apple pays it, right? So now what do? Now they still have to make a profit too, right? So now they're just going to raise their prices. They just pass the cost on to the consumer. So yeah, you're not paying as much in taxes. Now the price of your iPhone just went up, dude. That's all. You're still paying for it. The people still pay for it, right? And so you're still paying all this money to government, whether you even realize that's not even a tax. You might not even realize that. It's a tariff, right? But it's because of government that you're paying this extra money. So that might not even be included. Maybe, oh, I'm only at, 38%. I calculated it up. Well, count all the tariffs, maybe you're closer to 50 now. You see what I'm saying? There's all these little ways that government sneaks ways in to make you pay them more. Maybe it's not directly paying them, but they're charging Apple more. So now Apple has to charge you more, right? So thanks for coming in, guys. Let's give a quick shout out to some peeps up in here. Car Thief, what's up, big dog? Dub Wub's in the house. I haven't seen you in a minute. Tariffs are a tax. I don't care what the law says. Yeah, I mean, it's basically a tax, dude. And the people end up paying for it too. Oh yeah, it's cool. Newest video today shows a cop playing with a gun. Go check out ANCAP Cop Watch, his new video. Let me give you a wrench on that channel, bro. Like they don't mix. There you go. I got a text message from someone. Let me see. Okay, so what's going on here in the comment section? Stupid hormones, what up? Stupid humans. Stupid humans. What up? I haven't seen you in a bit, I think. John Winchester, my boy. What's up, bro? So yeah, I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. I give you guys an update too. We're going to be going live on this channel, the backup, Sunday morning. Another update on the lawsuits with the trolls. So there's a little bit more to update. You guys remember Mailroom Boy? Well, he remember all that stuff he's talking about fair use. He's like, oh, you can play DMA's entire video from beginning to end, and then at the very end of the video, you can say this sucks, and that's fair use. Like, he literally said that. I don't know if he said this sucks or I disagree with it or something. He's like, you can say one sentence at the end, and that's fair use. He's a paralegal, right? I don't know which law firm he works for, but he literally said that to all his audience. And then we made an announcement that we're going to be buying JC News Now catalog. We're going to be buying all the copyrights and putting them in my LLC. And we made an announcement to Mailroom Boy, and guess what? He deletes 65 videos. It's not 45, it's 65. All of Jimmy's videos gone. They're such little chicken shits, dude. Like, all of them just talk all this crap. It's fair use. And then they hear something and then they just immediately delete videos, like Auditor Troll did. Deleted 1,700 videos. Now this guy deletes every single Jimmy video. But I thought it was fair use, dude. I thought you just have to say this video sucks. So they're losers, man. They're so dumb. And then there's this new chick that the DMCA lawyer found that made a video about me. She's purposely using my Chad video. Not the Chad. It's called Another Chad Exposed. You guys know the title of that video, my copyrighted video that I'm suing Auditor Troll for. It's called Another Chad Exposed because that was right after the Chad video. And so like he was pretty popular. So I was like, Another Chad Exposed. But she's like purposely using it. And she's made like 3 videos about me in a row. I don't even know who she was. Randall told me about her. But like he said in his video, Randall made a video. We're going to play Randall's video on Sunday too. Go check it out. DMCA lawyer, subscribe. But I don't know if she's trying to pick a fight with me or something, but she made a fair use video. Like, it was clearly a fair use video. So she's like, I won't be silenced. And like, I'm not trying to silence you, lady. Like, get it through your thick skulls, you idiots. I'm not trying to silence your free speech, right? I'm not. That was a fair use video. Fine. And all the stuff she said in there was wrong. I'm going to break it down. But if you want to do it that way, sure. If you want to make fun of me and play, you know, like 10, 15-second clips like she did the whole time, sure. You want to engage in the video and actually talk about the laws that I'm talking about, sure, that's fair use. It's clear fair use video. I'm not going to hit you with a strike for that. So I don't know what her problem is, but she tried to say about obstruction, it's not a physical act. And she like literally, she said this is for news purposes. Like, she's claiming to be a journalist, and yet she used an article. She's quoting an article from a law firm. It's like a generality. It says, in many states, obstruction can be blah, 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 blah. Like, that's the go-to that she went to prove me wrong, that obstruction is not a physical act. It's some generalization on a law firm's website. In many states. Yeah, in many states, like I always say too. And she's like, oh, you're manipulating your audience. It's like, I always say, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. And I always say obstruction is not a physical act in every state. I say it should be. You know, there's case law about it, but it's not. So do your own research. And in Colorado, it is a physical act, or at least the threat of a physical act. So we're going to be touching base on her, how wrong she is. And then, you know, we're going to touch base a little bit on the tape thing. Is it a law that they have to put a tape up, right? She said that I'm wrong about that too. And so I'm going to explain that more in detail on Sunday. So, but yeah, it's kind of frustrating with these, like, it's kind of like funny though, but you can only pull your hair out so much. And you're just like, ugh. I kind of learned it, like Randall's like, dude, how do you deal with these idiots? They're so dumb. I'm like, yeah, see, now you know, man. I told you. You just kind of like, you just like get used to it. They're just like, you know, they don't know, you know. It's kind of like, you know, they're like, you know, mentally disabled, you know, you just gotta, it's like calling like a, you know, a kid with Down syndrome for double dribble, you know what I mean? Like, you got to kind of just let some stuff slide, you know, like that's kind of how I look at the trolls when they start saying obstruction is not a physical act. And then they quote an article from some random lawyer website. It's not even the actual statute. Like, she probably read the Colorado revised statute and realized that it wasn't going to fit her narrative. So then she just found some generic shit on some website that she could quote. Right. And then calls me a manipulator. Right. Dummy. What's up, Joko KS Cop Watch? What's good with you, bro? Oh, really? Yeah. New Mexico, obstruction is officer discretion. Yeah, that's so crazy. You know, there's case law though. Houston versus Hill. It's for the Supreme Court too. So it basically says that, like, you can't distract a police officer, or you can't, like, verbal opposition can't be obstruction either, right? You can say whatever you want. You can purposely try to distract them with your words, right? But like in Texas, they have that too. It says, like, you can't, sometimes it says you can't oppose an officer, like you can't oppose them, right? Or it says you can't, what's the Texas one? It says not distract, you can't, because I remember reading it when I did the Carolina and Fort Worth trip down there when she got beat up by that cop, Kruger. I don't remember what it was, something like hinder, or I'll think of it later, but it's so unconstitutional. It was something like distract or something like that. It was stupid. And I had I'll give you guys another update. So I'm about to be working on some more videos here today. Actually, after this live stream, I'm going to hit the editing, because I know you guys, I know I've been I'm not slacking, but I just been not able to post videos, but I have a lot of videos to edit. So on the main channel, I'm going to be throwing some new stuff up. And on this one particular video, my neighbor was like beating up his girlfriend, and stuff's crashing around, right? They're talking about guns and everything. And then The cops finally show up 30 minutes later, dude. And I go to try to help the cops because I'm like, this poor chicken here, dude. Like, I don't want her to get killed. And then they're like, I don't know if they had their guns pointed at me. I got the body cams. We're going to go through it. But like, they're like treating me like I'm the suspect. I came up to him to try to help him, dude. And first of all, they show up 30 minutes later and then they're being, chickens. And then they like detain me. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to help you guys. You guys are wasting time. I'm trying to tell you where this incident is. And they detained me and stuff. And like, I finally said, dude, I'm just going to leave, bro. And they're like, you're not free to go. And I was like, what crime have I committed? The whole spiel. And so I was like, okay, well then if I haven't committed crime, I'm just going to get my stuff and leave. Obviously, you guys don't want my help. And like backed away all slow because I don't want them to shoot me. And I was like, this is what you get for trying to help the cops, man. But anyways, and they sat there all like scared for another 5 minutes, bro. I finally had to go back out there, bro, into the street. And I was like I was probably like 50, 60 feet away. It was kind of far. And I was like going like this, bro. And I was like, it's right there, dude. Go. What are you guys doing? And then they see that, oh, okay, it's over there. And they like go all like super slow behind the car. Like, dude, you guys are such pussies, dude. Just run up there, idiots. So anyways, the story is that I had to file a complaint on that police officer. And I didn't even want to really, but I had to because they weren't the body cams, they retaliate. And because there's no like supervision over CCJRA, Colorado Criminal Justice Records Act. So they can just say that it's going to take 10 hours to redact the information, even though it's not. So they were trying to charge me like $600 or $800 for body cams, like something stupid, ridiculous. So under the Law Enforcement Integrity Act, if there's a complaint on a peace officer for police misconduct from a citizen, then that department, that agency has 21 days to release all the unedited body cam footage at no cost too, because there's precedent set in Boulder, Colorado. So they couldn't charge me for it. They had to give it to me for free, for one. And then number two, they had to give it to me unedited. So that kind of just shows to you right there how unnecessary these laws are, because there's so many laws that just shouldn't be in existence. Gary Johnson, former governor of New Mexico, said, every time you write a new law, it takes a little bite out of freedom. And if it doesn't need to be enforced, like obviously that law doesn't need to be enforced, whatever it is. It said that we have to redact information, right? Because all you have to do is file a complaint on them and then they have to give you the unedited version. So like, we're not going to be like, well, unaliving someone, I don't know if that really needs to be a law. Like it obviously has to be a law, right? Like it has to be illegal to unalive someone, right? No one's going to think otherwise. But like these laws, okay, so you have to redact it and charge me $800. But if I file a complaint on the officer, then you have to give it to me for free and you don't redact anything. So what's the point of redacting? Like, I don't know. It's just stupid, right? So anyways, this is a long story, but it's good stuff. I did a mediation with the officer, because if you do a mediation with the officer, you get to talk to him via Zoom, and it goes off of their record if they agree to the mediation, which I did that because I didn't want it to have it on his record. Like I wasn't unjustified. I wasn't filing a frivolous complaint. It was a legitimate complaint. The guy detained me. And I was trying to help him, but I didn't want it to go on his record. I didn't. So I agreed to the mediation, and I explained to him, look, this is the reason I had to file the complaint, dude, because you guys are supposed to be transparent and you're not. You try to charge me $800 for some body cams. That's stupid. So I had to file a complaint on you, bro. So maybe you could, to let people know this, I'm getting complaints filed on me because you guys are trying to retaliate against Christopher. So, the guy is just so misinformed, dude. And he's a corporal. He's been doing law enforcement for 20 years or something. And we're talking about the Constitution and, I take my oath to, I said, did you swear an oath to the Constitution when you took your job as a Denver police officer in the United States? Yes, I did. And I take it very seriously. And I could ask him a question and he'd go on this rant. And we've done extensive training, right, on the Constitution, right? Because I was saying that, there's a lot. I was talking about how there's no such thing as a good police officer. I was like, you seem like a nice guy. I'm sure you're probably like a good dad and you're a good brother and stuff. Probably a good guy, but there's no such thing as a good police officer because they swear an oath to the Constitution, but they don't even know what the Constitution is usually, right? And there's so many unconstitutional laws that they have to enforce. Like they have to, right? It's like, I swear an oath to this Constitution, but if I honor my oath, then that means I would not be able to enforce these laws, and then I just get fired. So that's why I say it's literally just a formality to get the job. It means nothing, right? Because if they actually honored their oath, they just get fired for not enforcing all these stupid laws that are unconstitutional, right? So he started saying, he fell right into the trap, dude, because he's like, oh yeah, we get extensive training. I take my oath seriously. And I was like, okay, well, can you tell me the 5 elements of the First Amendment? First, I asked him if he ever violated someone's rights. Direct D taught me this. And the mediator was like, thought I was trying to attack him or something. She was kind of like taking his side. It pissed me off, but he went on this long rant, and I was like, dude, it's a yes or no question, bro. But he talked for like 5 minutes, and it was like towards the end of our time. And I was like, okay, so then it's no, you haven't violated someone's rights. Okay, cool. So can you tell me the 5 elements of the First Amendment? And then she was like, oh, it's time to go. Like, I'm sorry, it's the last, we're out of time. She like cut me off. I was like, oh, bitch, dude, like I had it perfect. He didn't know. And because he was like kind of scared, and I asked him, and he's like, and then she's like, oh, actually, we're out of time. And then I got something in though. I was like, hey, you know what, man? Like, you're saved by the bell, but I know you don't know it. You just said that you have extensive training on it, but you don't even know the very first one on the list, right? I was like Barry at Transparency always says, right? Like, your training has failed you. And that's what I told him. I was like, your training has failed you. And I was like, it's important. You should know at least the Bill of Rights. So I live in Denver, so when I see you, I'm gonna see you on the streets, and I'm gonna test you on it, dude. And I expect you to know it. And it was a good conversation in the end, you know. So hopefully I planted a seed. But there's this thing. It was via Zoom, and you're not supposed to record it, but you're supposed to sign something saying that I won't record it or something like that. But I didn't sign anything. Right? I didn't sign anything. I was supposed to, but I didn't see the email. And then by the time she texted me, make sure you sign the thing. But it was like already time to go. And I forgot about that we're having the meeting. I was like, oh, shoot, it's in 10 minutes. I was like, oh, I had to run, get to the computer, hurry. So I didn't sign anything. So I'm wondering, I don't think I'm legally binded, because I actually looked at the statute in regards to recording those meetings or whatever and publishing stuff on these private, mediations. And the statute refers to the employee, the mediator. The mediator can't record or publish it. It's against the law for them to do it, but it doesn't say anything about citizens. So, and I didn't sign anything either. So I need to run that by my attorney if I can publish that, because it is such a freaking gold. Like, it's one of those videos that I could just throw up raw. It's like an hour and a half, no edits, and just let it run, dude. Like, like the dispositions in Pink Camera Magic's thing, where everyone watched that and it was just raw, however long it was, and everyone watched it. That's how this would be, because he said so much dumb stuff, contradictory. Like, it was just crazy, dude. Anyways, I don't know how I got onto that story, but that's going to be, I don't know if I'm going to publish that part of it, but that's the video I'm going to be working on. I should probably actually get with my attorney. Maybe I'll email him on that, because I would love to play that. You know what I mean? What I thought about doing too is I could just play it just out of courtesy. I don't even think legally I have to do that, but I could just play parts of it in this video, to make it a better video. And then I could blur his face out and change his voice, like they do in the movies and stuff, or like in like documentaries when they're trying to keep people's identity. I could do that, So yeah, it's good, dude. I said, I have a lot of good stuff, guys, and I'm going to be working hard now. I promise. It's going to be worth the wait. I'm going to be back up there. People saying, oh, you got a dying channel. And no, I just haven't published any videos. So I need to get back to work. I'm finally done with like all of this crazy stuff, right, that I've been dealing with. I'm still not even done, but to the point where I can start working again. But another one where the SWAT team came to my house. Well, they came to my condo, my apartment complex, for another neighbor. Some crazy neighbors, dude. And like, I started to realize I moved. I live in such a nicer neighborhood now. And I realized how ghetto my neighborhood was. I didn't think anything of it at the time. Just thought, it's a regular neighborhood. It's not like the slums or anything, dude. It's not like there's drive-bys and all kinds of gangs. It's not that bad, but it's like, you can always tell what kind of neighborhood you're in. I figured this out by going to your local bus stop. That's how you tell. Like if I went to the bus stop around here, it would just be nice, probably be clean grass. Maybe there's a bench there, right? That's how it would look. The bus stop down the street from my house and my old house, there's graffiti on the fence. There's McDonald's trash. There's a bunch of like, little shooters of alcohol, like thrown on the sidewalk, right? That's how you tell what kind of neighborhood you're living in. So, because I remember all the time seeing like, cops here, Denver police all the time on the streets, right? And then, I had at that place, I had the SWAT team there, and then that police incident there within like 2 months. The last 2 months I lived there. And then there was always stuff there. There was a guy selling dope. I think he was slinging heroin down my next door neighbor. And there's always these girls, tons, like 30, 40 girls. Like they're pretty girls too, coming in and out of the house all the time. Like you knew something was going on, and they'd go in and they'd come out kind of all like, like that. So they'd go in, do their thing, hang out for a couple hours, and they leave. I was like, dude, you got to be like the dumbest drug dealer ever, bro. Like you think you live in an apartment complex too. Like maybe it was a house, but you think that like your neighbors aren't going to know what's going on, bro. And like the neighbor up here, she hated, she'd call them out. I'm not doing that. Like, dude, we're not stupid, bro. Like we see all the women coming in and out, and then they come out all like out of it. Like we don't know. So he ended up getting raided. So there's lots of stuff, crazy stuff that happened over there. It's not like the best neighborhood. So I have a project down the street from me there. And then up the street a little bit, there's a halfway house. So, it's kind of ghetto. It's like where I used to live. It's like kind of in the corner. It's like Littleton is like right there. It's like where all these places connect. I'll say now because I don't live there. But it's like Littleton, Inglewood, Sheridan, and Denver. And then even Lakewood is not too far from there. Like 4 or 5 cities all like in one corner, like where they meet. That's where I lived. So, but it was technically Denver. It's the city I lived in. Denver is like the big city, and it has like this sliver that goes down. It's weird. It's like this little sliver. So I lived in the sliver. So like over here, just across the street is Inglewood, and then it's Denver here, but then you go a little bit further this way, then it's like Littleton, right? It's weird. So sorry guys, am I talking too much? So what do you guys think? What are you guys getting into for this weekend? You got something exciting going on? See if I have anything coming up. My mom got a new job, so we're going to celebrate. We're going to drink our root beer floats. So we moved, and I had this root beer thing that she gave me a long time ago. I never opened it. It was sitting on top of my fridge, and it's like made for root beer floats. It has like the mugs, and then it's got like the 2 glass bottles of root beer, and then it's got like ice cream scooper in it or something. It doesn't have the ice cream, but it's like a little kit. And so we're like, oh, we're going to drink our root beers. And we finished the house. My mom's such a trooper, dude. I love my mom. She helped me with the whole house. She decorated my kitchen. Like she did so much. Without her, I'd be lost, dude. So I was so thankful, and I was like, we're going to drink our root beer, have our root beer floats. So tomorrow we're finally going to have our root beer floats, because we've been done now for a while, but because we're like, not until we're all the way done. We're finally all the way done. So tomorrow we're going to do that as a celebration. And then we're going to go for celebration for her getting a new job. She got a new job. So my mom got laid off like several months ago, but she got a new job, a good one too. And she thinks she's going to like it. So it was good. It was like perfect timing, I don't know if you believe in God or anything, but like it was perfect timing. My mom was able to help me, with my move and all that stuff, because she didn't have a job. So she's just getting her unemployment. Thanks, Crofty. I appreciate you. How you been? What you got going on in the life of Crofty? Oh, yo, Life Under the Microscope got gifted a membership. Nice. What's up, dog? He wants to scoop up the homeless. Like the homeless. We'll just talk here for a little bit, since there's people in here that are kind of interested in hearing what I have to say, I guess. With the homeless whole situation, like Regan, she does a whole bunch of stuff with the homeless. That's her thing. Hey, My Hairstyle Magazine, how you doing? Hey, you guys should subscribe to my hairstyle magazine. She's got like a lot of subscribers. I think you have like 60,000 or something. Hey, Crofty, can you throw her link in the chat, please? You guys should go subscribe. She's cool. She's got really good energy, and she's a huge supporter of like the 1A stuff, but she does like hair stuff. You know what I mean? Like tutorials and stuff like that. Appreciate you. My hairstyle magazine. Her other channel is called Girly Girl. She has a couple different ones. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. You messed it up for me, hairstyle magazine. Or I totally lost my train of thought. If anyone can get me back on track. What was I say? Oh, homeless. Yeah, with Regan. Okay. So yeah, she, you know, that's her thing. And I was always, you know, supportive of her doing that. And I always think that, you know, you should have compassion for other people. And I don't agree with the way that the police, they handle the things with the homeless, because they bully the homeless a lot, because like I always say, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. And so they understand that these people, a lot of them, they're more likely to have mental disabilities, right? They're not always all there. They're kind of strung out, stuff like that. So they know that they can just take advantage of them. They don't know the law, so they'll just illegally search your stuff until Regan comes in and busts them. And then all of a sudden they start scattering and doing crazy stuff, right? So, you know, I have compassion for them. But I don't like to, like, there's some activists that like to go do like homeless outreach. Regan doesn't do this, but there's other ones that like do live streams and like record themselves, like giving them food and stuff, and like them on the live stream. I'm like, dude, that kind of like cheapens what you're doing by doing that. I don't like that, dude. Like, if you're going to help someone, I don't think you should like record yourself doing, oh, look at me, I'm such a good person. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. But I think I might have a fundamentally different opinion on like the cause of homelessness though than Regan might. And although I think that they should be treated with compassion, their rights should be respected, and I think that they waste a ton of money doing those sweeping them out of there, then they just go where? Just to the next place so they can get swept from there. I mean, right? And then they steal all their stuff, right? Like stole my car. They do the same thing to them. They can steal their houses, their campers. It's not registered. And then, you know, anyways, but they have to survive too. Like Regan says, they have to survive. But the thing about with me though, is that I believe that homelessness, except for the ones that are, have mental disabilities though, because there are some people that are just kind of behind the 8 ball and they don't want to be homeless, but a lot of them choose it. And the reason I think a lot of them become homeless is because we all have like a support system, right? And like I have my mom, and I mean, that's pretty much like all I got nowadays. But, you know, I don't really have too many friends. Friends don't really stick around for me that much. It's because I'm a bad friend. But what I think is that homelessness, or for the reason they become homeless, is because we all have support systems. And I think that if somebody has a mental disability, right, family is going to look out for you, right? So like if I had a mental disability, I can already hear the trolls. Oh, if you got a mental disability, we all know it. But if I did have a real mental disability, my mom would be there to take care of me, right? Like, she's not going to let me just be on the streets. I think there's some people that they just don't have anyone, right? Maybe their mom's a drug addict. Maybe their dad split too, and they don't have no one. They grew up in poverty. And so like, they don't really have any structure or any support system. So when they have a mental disability, they just destined to be homeless, right? Like you guys in the chat, you guys probably have people, you know, that care about you, right? Family members, mom, dad, brother, sister, cousins, right? That like, if there was somebody with a disability, like they would take them in, they would do something, right? They wouldn't be homeless at least, right? So that's what I think is that's just the theory. I don't have any research. I'm kind of just winging it, but I thought it was a good theory. But also like with the whole wealth distribution thing, like, you know, some people think that, oh, hey, what's up, Russ Topol? What's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, bro. It's my friend. I got a video with him. He's out here in Denver. The wealth distribution thing, like, let's say that would be a good idea, right? Let's just say it would be. So yeah, let's take all the wealth of the United States and let's divide it evenly amongst every single American. Okay. So we all have the exact same amount of money. You know what I think would happen? I think that within 5 years, all of that money would be back in the same people's hands. I think that the homeless people would be homeless again, and the millionaires would be millionaires again, right? It's a mindset. The millionaire knows how to make the million. The homeless person, they know how to be homeless, right? Like they don't have the thought process or the structure or to be able to keep the money, right? They would just blow it and they'd be homeless again in 5 years. It's you manifest your own reality. This would be something more for like my empirical miracle channel. It's my spiritual channel, but whether you realize it or not, thoughts are things and you just manifest your own reality. So the millionaire would just be a millionaire again. It would all just go back to the same way. So it doesn't matter wealth distribution, all that. Like people tax the rich. Like, dude, that's not going to do anything. You could tax the rich. Like you could tax the top 1% by 90% if you wanted to. That's not going to like pull us out of debt. Like people think that, oh, it's going to pull us out of debt and we're going to have all these extra resources. Dude, they're just going to find a way to blow the money stupidly, right? That's all that's going to happen. Do you think that your taxes are going to go down? Like if they tax the rich by 90%, the top 1%, do you think that they're going to give you a tax break now? No, they're just going to more money for them to blow and waste on wars and stuff. That's all that's going to happen. I never understood the whole tax the rich thing, dude. It's like they're haters. Like I want to be rich someday too. What's wrong with wanting to be rich? You know what I mean? What's wrong with wanting to just be financially comfortable? What's wrong with making $300,000-$400,000 a year, right? Like no one that, you make $50,000 a year and then you finally get, work your ass off and develop a skill and get a good education or whatever it is that you had to do to make that $300,000 a year. And then now you want to just give $150,000 of it away every year to the government, like half of it or whatever. Like, come on, dude. That's not like what the founders envisioned when they were, saying that all men are created equal and, that we all have a right to life, liberty, and whatever, however it goes. That's not what they were saying, right? Tax the rich. I don't think so. So, I mean, what was it like? A 1% increase in tax started the Revolutionary War, right? And now, now look at it. See, because like if you do everything all at once, be a lot of resistance, right? See the psychological games they play. You just take 1% at a time, guys. You just raise it 1% every 4 years until now it's half. Pretty soon we'll be like, we own all of your money. You work for us, but we'll give you enough to, we own your income and we'll give you a part of it though. A lot of people they can't stand Andrew Tate. And like, there's some things that he says that I don't agree with though. Like I do like a lot of things. He's like an anti-government kind of dude. That's why I like him. But there are some things that he says that I don't agree. I don't agree with everything that he says. I know a lot of women don't like him, but there's one thing that he said that I liked. And what was it? I'm having like these brain farts. I totally forgot what it was that he was going to say. What were we talking about? Was it money, wealth distribution? Oh, gosh, I can't remember now. I'll think of it, though. Oh, Monograph. What's up, bro? What's up, Monograph? I text you, and you didn't respond to me. You said I could call you or text you. Oh, it's worse for you, bro? Sorry, man. Gosh, I got to think of it, though. We were talking about taxes, right? Was it taxes? Or what were we talking about that made me? Oh, Wade, what's up, bro? I was hoping you were gonna be in my Christopher Cordova live the other day. I was like, well, Wade's not here. How you doing, man? Gosh, I had something good that he said. I can't just leave it out there now because you guys were gonna agree with me on that because I know everyone hates Andrew Tate, but you were gonna agree with me on this thing that he said. He says a lot of stuff that I like. It's on the tip of my tongue. It has something to do with money, though. I know that. We were talking about wealth distribution. It'd all go back in the same hands. You could tax the rich. It wouldn't matter. You tax them by 90%. Oh well. Shoot. Yeah, it was something along those lines. I feel like I want to just like think of it right now though, but I can't just keep thinking of it and wasting too much time on it. But it was something so good. But yeah, you can't just tax the rich so much that to bring us out of poverty though. Like that's not how it works. So the Revolutionary War started like over a 1% increase in tax. Oh yeah, you do it slow by slow. I'm trying to retrace my thoughts. You increase the tax like 1% per year, and the next thing you know, you're a slave. But I will say this though, I just thought of another thing that he said. I don't know if this was the thing I was going to say, but this is something that Andrew Tate said. Oh, I think this might be it, actually. I think this might be it. I thought of it. So when you're a slave, right, you're in chains and you work every day. And what do you get in return for working, for being a slave, right? You get something. Right? You get shelter. You get food, water. You get your essentials, right? You can survive. That's what you get for being a slave. You have to work for it. So when they abolished slavery, they realized, well, hey, you know what? We can still make people slaves, right? They're just not going to be in chains, though. We're going to give them the illusion of freedom. That's what we have, guys. It's an illusion of freedom. It's not real freedom. No one pays half their money that they make every year to the government and thinks they're an actual free American. Like I say, that free American stuff that I say, that's just something catchy and cool that I say that makes my audit sound cool. I don't actually think I'm free, and you're not either. You have the illusion of freedom, right? So now what do you do? Now, what do a lot of Americans, the majority of Americans do? Because the middle class is so small now. It's not strong like the 50s. It's like you're either rich or poor. That's everyone. So most people are poor. So what do you do now? You work, right? Just like the slaves worked. Like, don't get me wrong, it's different. They're not whipping you and stuff, but fundamentally it's the same, right? You work for what? For food and shelter, right? Pretty much. I mean, how many people have like extra income that they can just blow? Oh, you know, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go buy a new toy. And we're going to go on vacation. You know, most people just work just to put food on the table for their family, dude. And then maybe go on a vacation once a year, maybe if you're like, you know, doing okay. A lot of people don't even get that. So you're just a slave, dude, but just an illusion of freedom because they take half of your money, dude. You know what I mean? Like when they abolished slavery, it was just, you know, everyone was paying like what? A couple percent in tax, dude. Now it's like ridiculous, bro. I mean, and if you don't have to pay a lot of taxes because you're wealthy, you know, some people clown, oh, the rich don't pay their fair share. Like, dude, just because I don't care who you are. Those people that are saying, dude, they don't pay their fair share. If they ended up with millions of dollars like that, they would find ways to protect their money to not pay taxes too. Who does that? Like people say they do that until they actually get millions of dollars. Oh yeah, I would voluntarily pay up half my money. No, you wouldn't. If somebody gave you 5 million, you're just going to give the government 2.5, like in a donation. Here you go. Just take it. I don't think so, dude. Like you're going to do everything you can. There's lots of cool stuff you can do. You know, you put stuff in your LLC. You know, my attorney, the DMCA lawyer, he also like does tax stuff too. He's a really smart guy. And so he's like, dude, you need to be putting your YouTube channel into your LLC. So you guys following the lawsuits, I got the LLC, Executive Lens. It's my LLC. I wasn't really doing anything with it. So that's what we're using to sue the trolls. And we're probably going to be using that to buy copyrights from other auditors too, to sue trolls. So he's like, you need to put your YouTube channel in your LLC because then it's like write-offs and, you know, because all the way I'm doing it now with the 1099 and it's like taxable income. But he's like, if you do it this way, then you can save all this money. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do, right? You don't put anything in your name. You put it in like a trust. So that's another thing. You work so hard your whole life, right? And you pay all this money in taxes that just, it's not, you don't pay it. It just comes out of your paycheck before you even get it, right? They just take it from you. You don't pay it. Right. So your money's already gone from there. And then you want to buy something. Oh, there's another tax. So it's taxed twice, right? Then you buy your house, you got to pay taxes on your house, right? And you got to pay property tax too, right? So the money that you earned was taxed, and then you bought the house, and that it was taxed again, and you have to pay property tax, right? And then you die, and you want to give your house to your children as an inheritance, and now your kids have to pay an inheritance tax on the house that you bought with money that was already taxed, that you've been paying taxes on your whole life. You've owned the house for 30 years and you've still already been paying taxes on it. Even after you paid your mortgage off, you've been paying taxes. So you don't really own anything in the United States. You don't really own property, right? Unless you homestead, right? Because if you own your home, if you want to keep owning it, you have to pay rent to the government every year. It's like a mafia, dude. Like, pay us or else, right? That's literally what the government is. It's like a mafia, dude. That's what the IRS is. It's like a strong arm mafia that's backed by the government, right? There's not even laws that say that you have to pay taxes, income tax. What is it? There's a certain amendment. I don't know which amendment is it, guys. Is it the 13th or is it the 17th? That says that they can do the federal income tax or something. They had to pass that when they did the Federal Reserve. So, but yeah, there's ways about saving money, so you don't have to. Oh yeah, as I was saying, inheritance tax, dude. What kind of shit is that? Isn't that like a slap in an American's face, the American dream? Oh, land of the free, and everyone that's so patriotic, dude. Patriotism's for bitches, bro. United States of America, I pledge allegiance to the flag. Thank you, troops, for protecting us. Like, dude, really? I mean, sure, there's like a lot of places some people say, oh, if you don't like America, get the fuck out. Well, yeah, I'm happy to live in America. I mean, sure, there's worse places. But like, just to say that we should never try to surpass our previous best, or that we're good enough, we can never do better. You know what I mean? That's crazy too, right? Like, people are like happy about it, you know? United States of America, where you just work your whole life to finally own this house. You don't even really own it, and you want to give it to your kids, and they got to pay inheritance tax, or they got to pay capital gains tax. Right? Like, sometimes people will try to like give their house to their kids, and like the capital gains tax is so much that they have to take out a mortgage to inherit the home that their dad worked their whole life for to provide to you. Right? But hey, I pledge allegiance, right, to the flag of the United States of America. That's the America you live in, guys. Isn't it such a great country? Ugh, man, it's like, people, why don't people like see this stuff? Am I like the only one? Are you guys the only ones too that are awake? Oh, it's the 16th Amendment monograph. Right on, dude. Monograph's got my back. Subscribe to Monograph, guys. Crofty, can you throw Monograph's link in there for me, please? Subscribe to Monograph, dude. He's a huge supporter of like the 1A stuff, guys. He's funny, man. Go check out his live streams, dude. I think he's on his backup channel now. He's got a couple different ones. But he's funny, dude. He's like just entertaining to listen to. He talks about all kinds of crazy stuff, dude, on his streams. I haven't seen you be live in a long time, dude. Honestly. Is this one of those guys? If you don't like it, you can leave. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying to me? I don't know. Yeah, this is your backup channel. That's what I thought. And like I said, dude, SR, I mean, of course there's worse places to live, dude. Like I said, I'm happy to live in America. I am. But just to say that, you know, and there's no evidence that it's actually the best country, but it's maybe within, you know, the top ones. Just because that doesn't mean that we should just accept everything the way it is. I think we could be way better off. I know we could, actually. You guys should watch the Zeitgeist trilogy. And you realize that we actually live with enough technology right now that we could literally have a no monetary system at all. Everything, a cashless society, no need for money, because the monetary system is built off of scarcity. It's built off of there not being enough. That's what makes it work, right? So some people have an abundance of it and others don't. Everyone's fighting for it. Everyone needs it so bad that they go to work and they slave away and do whatever they can to get it because there's not enough of it. That's what makes it work. But if everyone lived in a life of abundance where everyone had everything that they needed and then some, then there would be no need for money. And this isn't like a futuristic utopian idea, like maybe someday we can get there. No, like we've already had the technology to live like this way with robots, AI. We're just starting to see some of it now, but there's you think that like the stuff that we're seeing now with AI is like the newest thing? Like, no, dude, they've already had that stuff for a long time. They stay way ahead of us in technology, decades ahead of us, bro. They only let us see like a little bit of it. So we already live in a world with technology today where everyone, if there was working, you'd have to work like 5 hours a week. That's it. No one would have to work 40 hours a week. Like, dude, robots could completely take over a McDonald's, bro. AI and robots. There'd be no employees, right? There'd just be like people to work to like service the robots or something, dude, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like there'd still be some need for some work, but not near like there is today. Like 3D printers, dude. Right? Like what if you could just like, oh, you want a Ferrari? Okay. Print you up a Ferrari here. You know, like everyone gets a Ferrari. It's like Oprah, you a Ferrari. Right? They got trains. There's a train. They've had this technology that can travel like 2,000 miles an hour. It's like, I think it travels like under the ocean and stuff too. And like completely get rid of like airplanes. Airplanes are obsolete. It's like old technology. The technology exists. So you could literally go to like, I could go to Denver to New York in like a lunch break, dude. Not even that. It'd be like a break, like a 10 minutes to get there. Traveling 2,000 miles an hour, right? You go to here to China in like a couple hours or something, you know? It would take a lot of years to develop that whole thing, like building highways, right? But it can be done. We live in that society today. So we can do better. We can. Our future is actually our past. It sounds like a strong hit of acid right there. Our future is actually our past. Well, I think so. Well, there's no future or past. Everything's happening now, right? Didn't Einstein prove that? Like there's no future or past. Like everything's happening all at the same time. Time's an illusion with benefits, right? Because we see things like what's it called when one thing happens after the other? It's like there's a word for it. We see things in that way. But really everything's all happening at the same time. So like it's time and space are one and the same. So if there's two people here and one starts walking away from someone, they'll be like in the past, like, but it's so minuscule you would never notice it. But like if you're like, 10 light years away or something like that, and then you start walking past, now it's like you're like 30 years behind them, right? Or if you walk forward, now you're 30 years in the future, right? That's how time works when long distances. So time and space, there is no real time. Everything's literally happening all at the same time. It's crazy to wrap your head around, but it's true. It's like scientific fact. Yes. The Zeitgeist. So this used to be on Netflix and now I think it's on YouTube, guys. So you guys it's like a must watch video. If you're like into 1A audits and stuff like that, you're probably going to like it. It's pretty good. It's eye-opening. Talks about the Federal Reserve, how it's a scam. Like, so the United States, they borrow like $1 trillion, right? Or whatever they say $1 billion, whatever the amount is. They don't actually borrow. It's not like they're printing up the money. They just transfer it on a computer screen. And then you have to pay back that $1 billion though, with interest, right? But there's not enough money like in the circulation. Like let's say they took $1 trillion, dump it into the population, right? $1 trillion, right? But the only way to pay back that $1 trillion, there's only $1 trillion in the market now, right? Like how do you pay back the $1 trillion with interest if you only have $1 trillion in circulation, right? The only way to pay back interest on that $1 trillion is just to borrow more money. I got to borrow another 50 billion so I can pay the interest off on the $1 trillion that you loaned me, right? Like they control the money. So How can you ever get out of debt? That's impossible. There's no president that would ever be able to get us out of debt with the Federal Reserve. It's not possible, dude. It's designed that way. It's a scam, dude. Like Ron Paul said, I think he said, nothing would do, I'm like paraphrasing, but he said something like, nothing would better the average American more than to get rid of the Federal Reserve. It totally screwed us, man. Like, dude, inflation is like so ridiculous right now. Like groceries, I just get so mad when I go in there and I get like a few things, like a couple cleaning supplies and like, you know, some strawberries and bananas for my protein shakes and like just a couple knickknack things. I spent like $80. I'm like, dude, $80. This is so crazy, dude. Like everyone's poor now. If you make $100,000 a year, that's like the bare minimum. I feel like $100,000 a year in Colorado is like enough to, you could be single, but you're not going to be even balling out of control. Like that used, not even that long ago, like 15 years ago, $100,000 a year was a lot. You could do a lot with that. Now it's like, it's enough to like pay your bills and you go out to eat whenever you want. And like, if you want something, you can get it. Like, oh, I need a new camera for my audits. Sure. Bam. Or I need whatever. I need a new couch, man. Mine's kind of falling apart. Bam, just get it. No worries. Oh, dryer broke. Just get a new washer and a dryer. Fuck it. You could do all that stuff, but like, you're not like, you can just go on vacation all the time and you can just like make a trip here and you got this Ferrari or you got, you know, you can still go broke too. Like you have like a decent house. You're not like balling out of control in a mansion, you know, and you got a car, you don't have a Ferrari. You got, you know, whatever, a Toyota Tundra or something, dude. You know what I mean? That's 100,000 now. It's just like the average. It's like what I bet you, if we try to figure out the inflation rate, I bet you like in the 50s, you know, graduate from high school with no education, just go work at a factory and support your whole family on like just one income. That's, I think, what like 100,000 would be. Maybe not quite, maybe like 70,000 or something like that. That's probably the equivalent of what it was in the 50s. Can you imagine that? If like straight out of high school, just go work in a job wherever, you could just make 70,000 adjusting for inflation, right? That's how bad the Federal Reserve has screwed us, dude. Yo, what's up? You muted Voodoo. How you doing, bro? Oh, mushrooms? They were, I think they decriminalized them. I don't think they legalized them. They decriminalized them. It's still like a fine or something. And it's under a certain amount. You can't have like pounds of them, right? Am I wrong on that? Or did they do something else? What's up, Soozers? Let's cue the audit, guys. I didn't expect this to go this long, but I'm enjoying just kind of chopping it up with you guys. Is that cool? Yeah, you're right. Okay, so now I get it. Simply, our government uses a credit card system to fund itself. Yes. How long could you survive if everything you bought was with a credit card? You'd be broke fast. Yes, dude. Literally, you can never get out of debt. What the United States government has is a unlimited line of credit is what it is. Like if you have a line of credit because you have good credit, there's a cap, right? Like I actually had good credit. Now my credit sucks, but I had like really good credit. It was like almost 800. And so I had $100,000 line of credit, but there's a cap. I couldn't just get, you know, unlimited. Like there's no cap for the government. It's unlimited. You need money? Okay, here you go. As long as you got all those citizens with social security numbers and they can you know, work and pay taxes because they're free, right? Oh, really? Okay, thanks, bro. $1 in 1950 is equivalent in purchasing power to about 1334 today. 1334. What was the average salary in 1950? Let's see. Let's find out. What was the average salary in America in 1950? It was $3,300 to $3,400 according to U.S. Census. So we'll just say we'll split it in half. We'll say $3,350. Oh, and it says right here, adjusted for inflation, $3,300 in 1950 is roughly equivalent to $42,000 today. $42,000 to $45,000 in 2025. So yeah, that was the average salary when you just graduated from high school. You could get that probably 45 grand a year. That's not as much as I thought it would be. But I guess things, even with inflation though, things were, even 45 grand a year is kind of rough, dude. It's kind of hard to make it on 45. Because, you know, in 1950s, like they had one, a lot of people just had one salary, dude. The man worked and they had, you know, each person had a new car in the driveway and, you know, they had a house and stuff like that. So it was so much easier back then. What's up? What's up, Dorito? Loosh Mob Garage. What's good with you, bro? So I think I'm going to have to make up. Hey, dude, you know you should make up for me, bro? You should make up the Chad water bottle idea. We'll advertise them, dude, and sell them. So this is Dorito, guys. He made up an idea. This is Chadio's old friend. I don't know if you guys know this, but this is Chadio's old friend, guys. And he realized how crazy Chadio was on a live stream one time. It's on the main channel. I don't know if it's still up, but I had a live stream about it where Chadio freaked out on Dorito. And what'd he say? He was going to throw your wife down the stairs, you effing C word or something like that. I don't like to say that word on the live streams because they don't like it. He like threatened to throw his wife down the stairs, and he rage quit. That's when he finally realized that Chadio's a little unhinged. But we're not all unhinged. Some people say that you're unhinged, but it doesn't mean that you are. Maybe you're just mad for a little while, and maybe it was a good reason you're mad too. It doesn't mean you're unhinged, but some people are unhinged, like Chadio. Yeah, man, dude, we'll advertise it, bro. I'm serious. We should make like some prototypes, dude. When I sell the condo, I'll make a bunch of them, bro, and we'll do some giveaways to get it going. You know what I mean? And then we'll throw it on a store. You know what I mean? My cousin has a t-shirt making company that I'm going to start selling DMA merch on that. I'm going to link his company to my channel, and we'll do like Chadio water bottles. Water bottle lives matter. Yeah, I remember that live stream. I can't remember how it went. Oh, yeah. So what it was so the whole water bottle thing, what I'm telling you guys about, so you guys know, because I keep forgetting, they don't know what I'm talking about. So Dorito had an idea. He was just teasing his friend. You know, this is guy humor, guys. Like you guys know, most of my people in here are guys. We like to make fun of our friends. Like if we make fun of you, then that means we like you, right? Like, you know, that show, Impractical Jokers, or they just like make fun of their friends, like they embarrass them, you know, type thing. That's like funny. It's a guy humor. So he was embarrassing his friend, dude. He thought it was funny. He's like giving him shit about the bottle. He's like, dude, I got a new idea for your water bottle, Chadio. It's a wristband that goes around your wrist. So when you throw your water bottle at someone, then boom, it just retracts right to you. And Chadio got all pissed, bro. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to make something up about one of the worst moments in your life, Dorito. And he started freaking out. I don't give a fuck. Oh, throw your wife down the stairs, you effing asshole, or something like that, dude. And he like rage quit. It's like, dang, bro. And then he was like making fun of some other chick that reached out to me and wanted me to do a showcase on Chadio on her live. And I can't remember. Dorito, reach out to me, bro. Don't hit me up on Instagram though, because I never checked that. Email me. Because I was going to do a show on hers too, but I just got so busy. But I would like to do that though. I just got to remember who it was. But he was making fun of some being super insensitive about one of the, what was it, Baltimore? Was it the Baltimore Bridge thing? Somebody knew someone that died in that. And like he was like saying something about they deserve to die or some crap like that, dude. Like he's just like, he's not right, man. Oh yeah. Yeah, tossing his cat. I heard about that too. I don't know if you told me that or something, but he's like abuses his cats, dude. I think sometimes people think I abuse my dog because I have to yell at Loaf sometimes because he doesn't listen unless I yell at him, though. If I just talk to him nice, he doesn't listen. I was so mad at him, dude, because he was peeing and shit. I wasted like an hour and a half cleaning my rug downstairs. I had to clean it, clean the rug, carpet, pee, and then I had to lift it up and clean the pad underneath it because that smelled like pee. And then I lifted that up and the wood floor smelled like pee, so I cleaned that. I was so pissed. I had to leave him in the kennel when I went to the gym. And then I came back because me and my mom were going to pick up my car. Like I just told you guys the story. And I put Minnie down on the sidewalk like I always do, grabbed like the rest of my stuff in the car, and then Loaf was right there. And all of a sudden Minnie's gone. And I just walked up. She was unsupervised for like 15 seconds. She never does this. And I just walked up. Loaf was following me. And I just figured Minnie was kind of like lagging behind. You know, walked up from my truck to the front door is probably like 40 feet. And I was like, Minnie. And she like wasn't there. I thought she was going to the bathroom or something. I was like, Minnie. And like she wasn't coming. I was like, this is not normal. And I like Loaf went in, I threw the stuff down. I was like, Minnie. And then I walked down, like was like, Minnie, she was gone, dude. She's gone. Like this is not normal for her. She's usually on my ankles. Loaf's the one that does that, not Minnie. So I started like walking around. I went to look in the truck. Did I leave her in there? I opened it. She's not in there. Now I'm starting to panic, dude. And I'm like, Minnie. I was yelling at the top of my lungs. Minnie. I just kept yelling over and over. And I'm running. I ran down the other one way of the street. Minnie. And then I ran all the way down to the other side, down the hill, yelling Minnie. And then I saw some other dog. And then cars would come by. My dog's 4 pounds, dude. Cars come by, I'd be like freaking out, standing in the road to make sure they're not driving too fast because she could be just run out, dude, like a squirrel and get hit. And then this other dog was over there, and this lady saw me like in a panic, dude. And then I was yelling, I ran. I was like, I thought she got scooped up by an eagle or like a hawk or something, or like somebody stole her. I didn't know. This is not normal. And I was running, dude, in a panic. And then I looked over and I saw her. She's over there. She's never done that. She just took off, dude. First time she's ever done that. She's 5 years old. I almost had a heart attack, dude. Because you start thinking, you guys ever lost your kids before, like in the grocery store or something like that? You know, that panic that you get? Oh, dude, it was so bad. Like I already can tell, like when one of my dogs dies, how bad it's going to be. Oh, you just sent her a message? All right, that's cool, dude. Thanks. So we're going to go ahead and end it, guys. It was cool to chop it up with you guys for a little bit. I appreciate it. So, yeah, I mean, I literally set her down just like I always do for like, well, I grabbed the rest of the stuff out the truck and then I just went up to the house. She usually just sits right there by me, dude. It's a pain in the butt. They got to put a leash on them and take them down and then grab all the stuff. It's easier just, but yeah, maybe I should, I don't know. So, all right, guys, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Remember, Sunday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time is going to be noon Eastern on this channel for an update on the trolls. Peace. Check this out. Hey, man, how's it going?
Do better.